Australia are through to their 7th final in a row in this T20 format, and they were pushed all the way by India.
Australia's superwomen make it to their 7th consecutive ICC Women's T20 World Cup final, edging out India in a cliffhanger. I'm Alex Jordan, and this is the Digital Daily. So if we take a look at the scorecard, Australia elected to bat first, and powered by Beth Mooney's half-century and Meg Lanning's power-packed unbeaten 49, they got to 172 for 4. Now, in reply, the India batters gave a spirited response. It was half-century from Harmanpreet Kaur, the captain, and a sprightly 43 from Jemima Rodriguez, before ultimately falling heartbreakingly short by 5 runs. Well, I'm thrilled to have with me former Australian international Mel Jones. What a thrilling game that was. It felt as if India won the first half of both innings, but as usual, Australia found a way to fight back.
Yeah, look, I'm still taking my heart rate, and it's not because, I'm an Australian and I'm wanting them. It was just the way the game went. I think you've got it absolutely spot on, Alex. Moments in games, and you own certain times, don't you? In Test match cricket, we call it sessions. In T20 cricket, you want to put chunks of overs together. Australia did it to begin with. India fights back. But against this Australian team, you can't just do a 10-over block. You've got to own the majority of it. You've got to own probably 16 overs of it to get yourselves over the line.
Yeah, and if we talk about a turning point in this game, I mean, there were a few, but it must be the wicket of Harmanpreet Kaur. At that stage, they needed 40 off 33 balls, 6 wickets in hand.
Yeah, and look, you've got to watch it. It'll be shown now. It was such an easy 2. Great fielding, flat throw in. Elisa Healy's always sniffing around thinking, where's my opportunity? And there was the opportunity where Harmanpreet Kaur's bat just gets stuck. And you can see, you watch Healy's eyes, she is watching all the way. She knows immediately. And that's when the Aussies, they sniff something and they jump in. And that's when they started to shift things back in their favour.
And it shows the class of Healy, because she's missed a couple in this game, right, unusually. And it brings us nicely into our talking point, which is fielding and the difference in the fielding between the two sides.
Yeah, it's poles apart, isn't it? And even though it's poles apart, it still got down to something quite close, which basically says, come on, India, there's a simplicity about cricket sometimes. We've got to try and keep it simple. And in the field, part of that in fielding is you've got to want the ball to come to you, so you're aware and you're ready for it. You've got to have a steady base. And there's just a want to be that person, to take the catch, to, cut off the run. And unfortunately for India, that went missing today. And it just, again, allowed Australia to keep pushing on.
Yeah, well, we have to hand it to Australia. Incredible stuff. And performance of the day would go to Meg Lanning, the captain. It was a slow start, wasn't it? But her skill, her experience, her ability got 30 runs off the last 2 overs.
Yeah, when you look at her first 30, it was run a ball 30. And I think a lot of people are sitting there going, Ash Gardner's going, you need to get a move on here, Meg. But again, this is the calmness of this Australian captain, isn't it? Nothing seems to fluster her. So all of a sudden, coming into the back end of those last 2 overs, and you're looking up the scoreboard thinking, I think they're under par here. And then she goes, bang, bang. Some of the biggest sixes of the tournament. Hits 30 off the last 2, and again, just shifts the game.
Yeah, and what about that Meg Lanning? 6 off the last ball to take Australia to 172. That could turn out to be one of the iconic moments of this ICC Women's T20 World Cup that you could own. Log on to cricktoast.com, start your collection, get yourself some ICC digital collectibles today. Yeah, you have to hand it to Australia, right? So mentally tough. And if we're talking about the mental side of the game, is that the question mark then over this India side, especially when facing Australia?
Yeah, look, some people might think that, because when you look back at history, they made it through to the final at 2017 and didn't get over the line in a run chase where they probably should. They were set up for that one. And then you cast your mind back again to the Commonwealth Games. Pretty much the same equation. Lost the wickets, fell over in that last over. Some might say it's a mindset thing with the pressure of run chases. I would also go back to this Australian unit, and the systems in Australia have allowed them to play really competitive cricket where they're in these competitions and tight matches on numerous occasions. So for India, it's how they can get collectively as many of their players in those situations more often, so that when they come to World Cups like this, it's muscle memory for them. It's all this history and knowledge of playing in these games and getting over the line that would change these kinds of results.
Yeah, heartbreak for India, and I'm sure the neutrals watching around the world felt it for them here today. Australia just too good on the day.